the table topics evaluation just now. Now come to the part which is much more deeper, the evaluation for the prepared speech. Now, today, all three evaluators, I believe they are much experienced because they are qualified more than NCC, so they know a lot of things from their personal opinion. So, for our first speaker, will you keep your mind conscious? I'd like to invite the first evaluator, Advanced Promoter Bronze, Advanced Leadership Bronze, Seki to give his evaluation.
In the digital world today, people are swiping all the time. We are often unconscious to what we have in front of us, the connection and the relationship that you share with the person you are talking to. Ladies and gentlemen, you are to keep your mind conscious about the things that matter in life, not the things that could be solved perhaps later. Today you delivered a CC9 speech, which is to persuade with power. And through your speech, I learned many skills to keep my mind awake so as not to fall asleep and cause a brilliant sight of me snoring there. Thank you for those tips. I have learned much. As this is your 9th speech, it's going to be a lot more beefier. You are one step away from being the competent communicator, and we look forward to the day that you receive that. However, today I am going to give you some thoughts that perhaps will improve the way you speak as well as the way you deliver your message to everyone. These are my personal opinions. Therefore, if you feel that it is not pertaining to your speech or the way you deliver, feel free not to take anything at all. So, to put the first thing into place, you are to present your thoughts in a well and organized manner. I felt that it could have been organized a little bit better. There were amount of organization. You can see that the flow of thought is there. However, the thought flowing from one to another seemed to have jumped a little bit, coming back to point and then pushing back forward. So there were a little bit of a cha-cha. So we would like you perhaps to organize it in such a way that when you are talking, end it before moving on to the next point or the next skill. The next thing that I would like to bring up to you is that this being a persuade with power assignment, you need to put in some credible source. You have delivered a lot of skills. You have told us how we can keep ourselves awake by listening to some motivational talks on YouTube and a lot. But did that show any credible resource? Because I think that it is just a personal opinion. If you could have cited from a finding or so, it would have made it much clearer and people tend to believe you a little bit more. There is an appeal to the audience because the topic that you spoke of is something that we all need today, especially those who are growing up and swiping all the way. But it was presented in such a way that we did not see the problem. Because if you were to start, let's say, to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem that we are facing today, it would have touched us a little bit more, especially for those of us who have kids, maybe in the teenage level as well. To end, I would like to bring one final thing, and that is to persuade with power comes with a lot of confidence, a lot of pushing through in terms of bringing your message across. Be more confident. As Uncle Paul has said, you need to bring up a little bit more of your vocal variety as well as your gestures in movement. I believe I have said my part, and I hope for your 10th speech, you can input all these things to make your speech a better one. Back to you.
Thank you, Seki. I think we still have a lot more to share with those masters we use. So after the meeting, you can have a one-on-one talk, or not only him as evaluator. I believe everybody here present in this room You are evaluated through your friends, so do free to give your personal opinion to your friends. The next evaluator I call upon is our Division D Director, once a MAT member, Ricky Su, to give his evaluation to...
Still MAT member.
Still a MAT member. So a Division D Director to give his evaluation to a Division J Director. Please welcome Ricky Su.
Brothers and sisters, for the first time in Toastmasters, I'm free to talk about religion. And indeed, today, Speaker Li Hua has been brilliant because she is so different in a club that makes a difference. How is she different? First, her speech, and second, her style. Her speech was delivered in a Christian context. That's why she has been quoting from the Bible. That's why she has been calling us brothers and sisters. And her speech also, she asked the MC to set the scene before the speech so that we understand it is a different kind of speech that set the scene for this ministry or this work called Diwan, D-I-W-A-N. And it's because it's so different, the audience have all been attentive and lent you all ears. And this is required in the project, audience response. The second difference you have made is your style. And I find that you have used a style called STM, my own acronym. Sorrowful, touching, and moving. First, she put us into a sorrowful mood by mentioning the YouTube that she has watched that touched and broken her heart. Then she touched us by these stories, personal experience, and told us about this ministry and why we are ending it and going to the next greater one. Then she tries to move us to see the hope in the future and also the greater thing we can do and God can do for us. And because this is STM, I feel that your voice modulation and hand gestures are a bit lacking, and these two are required in the project. Why is it so? I think you are not immersing yourself fully enough. You are not emotional enough. If you're emotional enough, I think all these are natural for you. For example, when you say, broke my heart, I think your voice can be louder. Greater ministry, your voice can also be modulated. And in terms of gestures, you can put your fists together. You can point to your heart when your heart is broken. You can even close your eyes and ask us to imagine certain things, a better future. Li Hua, you have used, your time usage is under time. So perhaps you can add more content. This is the usual advice. But the unusual advice maybe is to know clearly your purpose, what you want to achieve out of the audience, why we need to listen to this inspirational speech. Then tell us the what of this one and the how, and then end with a hope for the better future, better ministry, and some call to action. My sister in Christ. Today you have been met. You have made a difference in your speech and your style. I have faith that you can do even better and better. God bless you in your future speeches.
Thank you, Ricky Su, for his very encouraging, very interaction evaluation. Last but not least, my successor, CK Director, Competent Communicator, Advanced Leader Boss, Belinda Wee, to give her evaluation towards my previous boss, Srinivas.
Yes.
So please welcome my successor.
Thank you, Advanced Communicator Silver, Advanced Leader Bronze, Kenko. I would like to ask every one of you, does any one of you not entertained by Srinivas' speech just now? Not entertained. And you don't find it funny. And you didn't laugh at all. None of you, right? So well done, Sri. Everyone was laughing and entertained by your speech. Well done. Okay, then comes to the part where I will give my evaluation is you did very well by stringing several jokes which I found in your speech, and to illustrate your points very well. You also combine all the jokes of the same topic and fit it all together. Your transition between your jokes are smooth as well. So your setup was very well done. However, I felt that your pauses before the punchlines and your punch words were not quite there. For example, when you mentioned that when a husband and a wife do not know what to give the child's name, then they gather everyone together and they name it we and you. So I felt there was a lacking of punchline over there. You could have maybe improvised by saying gather everyone together and name it we, you know, with your gestures as well. So then your punch words is the you or we. That could be it. And well, you did have a self-deprecating joke, and it ends with a humorous story as well. And also what I find is you mentioned that you tied it up all together with the Toastmaster, where you meet many peoples and you need to remember names. And for example, when you said that you met a girl, a lady or woman named Violin, and you thought that was funny. Why would someone name Violin? Actually, that was also another way. That is also one of the way to remember person's name. If you are a foreigner, for example, like you're yes, you are. So, for example, you can also mention, you know, in order to remember a person's name well, for a foreigner, is to remember a person's name with an object or a food or something like that. Yeah? So overall, very well done. I truly, thoroughly enjoy your speech, nonetheless. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, my successor, Belinda Wee. Now, today, the evaluation, I forgot to mention, they are all district officers. We have area directors and division directors giving their evaluations.
District officers.